Let's start off with a guy that's staying around the Carolinas in Ben Boulware. Number 18 player in the state of North Carolina, top 50 defensive lineman in the nation. He's a top 500 prospect according to 247. He is down to Georgia, South Carolina, and USC. Boulware, you'll think of Ben Boulware and you'll think of the guy that went to Clemson. This is the wrong guy. He's from Oak Grove High School out at Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Big body guy. 6'5", 305 pounds. He is a mountain as a defensive lineman. He is an absolute monster. And when you look at his film, he's just an imposing figure in the middle. I'd like him to wear a better number than daggum 76. But hey, if he finds some value to it, hey, I'll take it. Bam. Extend. Continue to use his hands. Good rush. Very good rush. By the way, guys, we're going to be going over a lot of film later today. This is going to be a very fun film session as well. So bring your comments, bring your questions, bring whatever you have for us. Engages with that center. Look, he just comes off the football with a lot of force, guys. That's what you want in a defensive lineman. That's what you're going to get with a guy like him. It's a guy that I think you can... He's not going to put up eye-popping stats, guys. Not at the interior position, but I think he's a guy that you can definitely rely on in the middle of the field to do some damage for you. He's a guy that I think can do a lot and dominate the interior. He knows how to get off of blockers. He knows how to dominate the middle of the field. Here's him in a 3-tech. That's very good technique, guys. That's very good technique. Took an official visit to South Carolina back in May 30th. Do I expect him to be a highly sought-after target if you're South Carolina? Yes, I absolutely do. Let me explain to you why. Because of what the type of athlete that he is and the type of just overwhelming presence that he could bring in the middle of the field. You know, he's a guy that I think a lot of people are going to skip out on. They're going to look at your guys, your PJ Deans. You know, they're going to look at your Richard Andersons. They're going to look at a lot of these different guys, but South Carolina was a very early offer for him. Georgia offered him on August the 20th. South Carolina offered him 2 months later. He took an unofficial visit out. Yeah, in fact, one of his first visits was to South Carolina. So if you're a Gamecock fan, you're talking about legacy and you're looking at the type of impact that a kid like Ben Boulware can make on your campus and on your team. Boulware has an opportunity to do that. And I think that it's somebody that realistically, I don't mind having on my team. On3 has him just outside the top 500. Most are comparing him. They're going from, they say that he's probably going to head on out to Michigan. He's been to Michigan twice. He's been to USC once, I believe. Not Southern Cal, I should say. My bad. But I do think at the end of the day, Boulware's a guy that is going to be a Carolina kid. He's going to stay in Carolina. I don't expect Carolina to be a place that Boulware would stray away from. I think he's going to stay in that South Carolina area. I think he's going to end up being a commit there for South Carolina. Another little small one. Little small victory if you're South Carolina, but it's one that's necessary. Okay, So let's continue on. Let's talk about Darius Gray, the number one interior offensive lineman in the nation, set to commit in a month. So August 22nd is when he is going to commit. He is down to South Carolina, LSU, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Clemson. So, again, another really interesting commitment list for Darius Gray, the number one interior offensive lineman in the class of 26. One that if you're South Carolina, go win him over. Let's see how that ends up. How much of an impact do you think that will make on your program? Because it's going to be pretty massive. It's going to be a pretty good victory if you are South Carolina. Probably one of the biggest commitments that you've gotten probably since you got probably bigger than what you did getting Landon Duckworth. If there is another name that is more important to this South Carolina football team, it is the offensive line. Darius Gray is a guy that I think that you could definitely pull out of the water from St. Christopher School out in Virginia. From what I'm hearing, sources are saying that it's between LSU and South Carolina. It's very unlikely that he does go to Tennessee. He's had a good relationship with Ohio State's offensive line coach. From what I'm hearing, Brad Davis had a great talk with him. Knowing that what he saw with Lamar Brown committing to LSU, it definitely wouldn't surprise me if he does end up going to LSU, which I do think will happen. But again, guys, we're a month away from it. Carolina has to make a sales pitch as much as they can. They got to do something. They got to do a lot of influencing, guys. I mean, a lot of influencing. And you may think that I'm crazy for thinking that. Guys, I'm really not. It is very important, almost vital, that you make that sales pitch to Darius Gray. It is important that you do so, guys. It really is. And you think I'm crazy? I mean, watch you lose a star guy, a star around your Carolina, around the coastal area, and watch him go commit to a school like LSU. I don't think it's going to be a bad reaction, but knowing that you're in the top 5 of one of the top prospects in the state, of one of the top prospects in the country, nonetheless, that should tell you how far this program has come. That should tell you how far that LSU has gotten from, or not LSU, but that should tell you how far that South Carolina has come from where you were at your low point at the beginning of the decade with what happened to a program like South Carolina. It's bound to happen, guys. It's going to happen. Call me crazy, but I do have a very strong possibility about where Darius Gray is going to go. But knowing the fact that if you can get into that top 5, it shows you that you can compete for the best. You just got to close the deal. That's where collectives come in. That's where the money has to come in. That's where everything else has to come in and really round itself out in order for you to have success at this level. That's where you have to have this success. That's where you have to have all things go your way for you to continue on and you to continue to be a blue blood and rise yourself out of the ashes in college football. It can happen. No question in my mind, it can happen. You just got to put it out there for all to really. I mean, I wouldn't really say all to see, but I think it'd be worth it, man. I really do think it would be worth it. Okay, let's talk about some more. Amari Thomas, who's set to commit August the 8th. All likelihood, he is going to be a Gamecock. I have heard a lot of good things. I've heard about the relationship that he and Mike Shula have. I'm very glad that you've been able to do that. But I think what's even more important is just the fact that you've been able to really do so much for all of college football. Well, I wouldn't even say all of college football. I'd more or less say what you've been able to do is building relationships. I've heard that South Carolina is the reason why he decommitted, because he wanted to be a part of that program, because he saw what the Roswell Faison situation and he wanted to be in a running back room with all those guys. He wanted to be a part of that brotherhood. He wanted to be a part of something like that. And I think that's what's so special, guys. That's what you obviously have to get with a guy like Amari Thomas, a guy that I think can make a big impact for your program, a guy that I think can really do some damage at the next level, guys. It can happen. Very much so. So, again, let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. What is the dark horse commit that, or I wouldn't even say commit, what is the dark horse prospect that you think can be a flip for South Carolina?